One moment. Let me see. Need to go up again. Reaches endurance by +2. Okay, let me see. And the
That should give you 32, if I'm correct.
Yeah, you are correct. And the name of the item was again leather.
Leather waistcoat. A padded leather waistcoat, if you want it all. Not as good as your chainmail, but that thing was kind of sunk. So yeah, some said that was a little bit annoying to see that you get this. Here's an awesome new item, and now it's on the bottom of the sea.
Well, now we have a padded coat and a fur coat, so I guess we are so close now that people can roll us around instead of let us walk.
Oh, the image.
Also, I cannot help but ask, the whole padded leather waistcoat, the whole padding and something like that, is that not the kind of thing that knights wear under their plate mail armor?
Yeah, because while the plate mail stops things like a sword or so, it doesn't stop the impact of the web.
Okay.
So in order to not get your bones shattered, you are to wear a thick leather, a piece of leather armor underneath. Yeah.
Speaking of such things, one of our viewers said that the big warhammer we talked about is usually called a maul.
Oh.
It's a close cousin to the mallets.
Yep. And by the way, you have gained another level of kite training, so that means you are a kite guardian now.
Aye.
Let me see. Kai. Okay, that just came out wrong. Instead of saying Kai as in something very dignified, I just said Kai as in some kind of Danish name. Sorry.
Yeah, all the place where a ship the ratings on the
Anyways, moving on.
Kai Wisdom. Your mission will be fraught with great danger, for Kalte is a bleak and hostile land, and your foe is a master of cunning. Use the map to help you plot your course to the ice fortress of Ikaia. Make notes as you progress through the story, for they will be of great help in future adventures. Many things that you'll find will aid you during your adventure. Some special items will be of use in future lone wolf adventures, and others may be red herrings of no real use at all, so be selective in what you decide to keep. There are many routes to the ice fortress of Ikaia, but only one will enable you to capture Vonotar and return to Summonon with a minimum of danger. A wise choice of Kai disciplines and a great deal of courage should enable any player to complete the mission, no matter how weak his initial combat skill or endurance point score. Successful completion of the previous Lone Wolf adventures is not essential for the success of this quest, though it does help. The betrayal of your country can be avenged by bringing the traitor to justice. Good luck!
Whoever writes this is sort of a douche.
Okay, even before you accepted the task of bringing Vonotar to justice, preparations were being made for your voyage to Kalte, so they kinda just assumed you would say yes. The captain of the Samlending warship Cordonel, having returned from a long Kalte sea patrol, was ordered to await your arrival at Anskaven. During the night, food, ice equipment and canoe dog teams were taken on board. The mission was highly secret. Only senior members of the crew were told the true nature of the voyage that lay ahead. The plan is to set you ashore at Halle Bluff, drop anchor, and await your return. An elite team of trusted guides will lead you from the bluff to Ikaia. Once inside the ice fortress, you are to hunt down and capture Vonotar, and then return with your guide to the ship. Your mission must be accomplished within 30 days at most, for winter is closing in and no ship can withstand the grip of the Kalte pack ice. If you do not return in time, the captain will be forced to set sail without you.
Okay.
For 6 days, the Cardonal sails across the stormy Kalte Sea without running into a storm, but every day the temperature steadily drops until a layer of ice covers the decks. On the morning of the 7th day, the snow-capped island of Tola is sighted on the horizon. Soon after, a light wind rises from the east. At first there appears to be little danger, but within half an hour a furious blizzard is blowing, and all sight of land quickly vanishes in the scudding drift. Wouldn't it be funny if the ship wrecked and you lost your armor?
No.
Again? All day the furious gale rages. Tremendous wind slices the tops of the huge grey waves, and water crashes over the decks, mast and rigging of the ship, freezing almost immediately into solid ice, the side of the ship becoming several feet thick with seawater. It is not until early evening that the weather clears, and although the wind still blows strongly, the force of the gale is spent. You are soon to discover that the gale has blown the ship nearly 30 miles off course along the lip of the Luke ice shelf. You know that to return to Helle Bluff would waste a precious day, so you decide to land on the ice shelf and start your mission from there. As the last of the Kano dogs are carried ashore, your guides tell you of the two possible routes to Ikaya from here. The first route involves a 130-mile trek to Cloudmaker Mountains, and then, following the difficult terrain of the Vlad Glacier, a further 100... Oh, it's not an L, it's an I. It's Viat Glacier and Viat Mountains. Sorry, no Dracula.
Good.
A further 100 miles must be covered before you arrive at the Ice Fortress. The alternative route involves a longer journey of nearly 180 miles into the Hrot Basin, followed by a trek of 100 miles through Storm Giant Pass to Ikaya. Even if the weather and your luck hold good, another route will involve 10 days of hard trekking before you reach your goal. You should consult the map of Kalte before making your decision. Do you wish the shorter but more difficult Viat Glacier route, or the longer but easier Hrot Basin and Storm Giant Pass route? You have the map. Make your choice.
Longer, but less difficult.
Speed is essential, so I would actually, even though the terrain is more difficult, I would actually prefer the Viat Glacier route rather than the Hrot Basin route. I mean, we only have 30 days, so speed is essential.
Plus, you spend a couple of those days just getting here.
Even here?
Yeah, I say we are kind of busy, so...
The Viat Glacier? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Ah.
Okay.
And Rana, you have anything to add?
Well, I do not really know. More dangerous, although shorter, but I'm not really sure about the whole danger thing, but... okay, we take the shorter route. I sure as hell do not hope we run into any Krakens.
Your transport to Ikaya consists of 2 sledges, each drawn by a team of 6 Kano dogs. This sturdy breed is native to Kalte, and they make ideal sledge dogs. Their thick, tawny coats and powerful chest, as well as their vigor and enthusiasm even in the coldest climates, makes them well suited to the work ahead. On board each sledge is enough food and equipment for the mission. Your 3 guides, Irian, Fenner, and Dice, are all experienced trappers. They are skilled at survival in the icy desert and know of the many unseen dangers. Once the dog are harnessed, you and Dice climbs aboard your sledge and signal to the others to lead the way. As you stare across the frozen expanse of the Luke ice shelf, you can see a white glare on the distant horizon. This is the Viat Glacier Wall, the point where the flow of ice meets the frozen sea. Through the crisp, clear air of Kalte, it looks no more than 60 miles away, at most, but in reality it is nearer 60 miles away. You make good progress on the first day, and as darkness approaches you decide to set up camp for the night. You halt inside a circle of ice pillars that have been forced upward by the constant moving ice shelf. The sledges are drawn together and the tent is erected beside them. Once the canvas is secured and the Kano dogs have been settled for the night, you begin to prepare your evening meal. Suddenly, a terrifying roar is heard outside the tent. "By the gods!" cries Irian. "A Bakna!" Bakna are large carnivorous creatures that dwell near the Kalte coastline. Their usual prey are gallings, or the smaller ostrils that live at the sea's edge. But this Bakna has been attracted by the scent of the dogs. It is about to attack and eat several of your sledge dog team. Do you wish to use hunting or animal kinship, or attack the Bakna?
I don't know.
Animal kinship. I don't know if we can communicate with this kind of animal. Hunting, I suppose that would help us find a way to defeat it. I would prefer hunting, but what do you guys think?
Well, I I don't know if we're trying to use animal kinship. I sort of have the idea that it's just gonna say that it's hungry.
And the whole idea of just running up to it and start slashing at it might not be a good idea, but I would say hunting then.
Right, so hunting it is?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hunting.
Bakna are fierce and dangerous creatures. They are afraid of only one thing: fire! Grabbing a torch from the pile of equipment, you light it and leave the tent. The wind has become much stronger since you first made camp. It whips the fine snow into small whirlwinds that stings your eyes. A moving shadow to your right betrays the Bakna as it lopes towards you. It is preparing to pounce when it sees your guttering torch and shrieks in terror. Seconds later, it has disappeared into the darkness. A quick check of the counter dogs reveals that they are all safe, although still understandably nervous. To ensure that the Bachner does not attack again, you all take it in turns to set watch that evening, torches and weapons at the ready.
Well, that went smoothly.
The following morning, you awake at dawn to the welcome sight of Fenner preparing a hot breakfast. He passes you a steaming bowl, blah, 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 and you gratefully eat its contents. Then you begin loading the equipment onto the sledges for today's journey.
What do you say the names of the guides were?
Well, we have Fenner, Dice, and Irian. It is a beautiful morning. The wind has dropped, and the air is fresh and clear. The canoe dogs are strong and eager to be off, and for most of the day the ice is smooth and the running easy. By nightfall you reach Siam Island, a pinnacle of granite rising through the ice shelf to the height of 400 feet. You make camp to the leeward side of the island in order to avoid the worst of the night winds. Roll the die!
Time is rolling and is landing on a 6.
The next day, thick snow clouds have descended over the Yuk ice shelf and there's little wind. As you draw closer to the edge of the glacier, the surface of the ice shelf becomes very rough and broken. Slabs of solid ice juts out at every angle, forming difficult obstacles. You are forced to dismount from the sledges and manhandle them across the hummocks and ridges as you try to reach the smoother slopes of the distant Viat Glacier. You have covered half a mile when ahead you see a large crevasse. This great crack in the ice is only 2 or 3 feet wide, but it extends for over a mile in either direction. For safety's sake, you agree to tie a rope around your waist and link up together. Should one person fall into a crevasse, the others should be able to pull him out. You cross the narrow fissure successfully, only to find yourself in a maze of crevasses. Thin layers of snow hide their locations, and you only detect their presence by testing the ground with your weapon. You have covered less than half a mile when you come to a crevasse over 8 feet wide. You stare down.
Sure,
What?
Sure, it's not a crevices.
What am I saying?
Cruises.
Crevice. Is that better?
Yeah.
You stare downward, but there's no light to be seen in the black yawning void. Your sledges are 10 feet long and could bridge the gap, but if the icy edges were to collapse, you could lose all your equipment at once. Do you wish to unload the sledges and use them as a bridge? Or do you wish to jump across with the canoe dogs and then pull the sledges after you?
Oh. What to do?
I prefer the option that does not risk us losing all our food.
That would be jumping across with the canoe dogs and then pulling the sledges after you.
Okay, let's try that then.
Oh dear. Let's see how this goes. Dice makes it across to the opposite ledge safely, although Irian slips and has to be hauled out of the glacier by his waist rope. You and Fenner are still on this side of the crevasse. It is your turn to jump. Roll the die, and because you have hunting, you may add 2 to the die when you roll it.
3.
Ooh. 3.
5.
No, 3.
As in you rolled a 1.
Yeah.
As you leap across to the opposite ledge, a tremor shakes the ice and the crevasse suddenly widens. You slip, hitting your head on the edge as you drop into the gaping void. The cord attaching the safety rope to your belt snaps and you fall into darkness.
That was the first time I died.
Actually, you're not dead.
Oh.
The chill air whistles past, and then you suddenly crash onto a ledge of ice, over 30 feet below. You are winded and badly shaken, but still conscious. The cries of your guides soon change to shouts of joy and amazement when they see you stagger to your feet. You look upward to see Fenner leap safely across the crevice. Seconds later, a rope is thrown down, and you are pulled to safety. You have lost your canoe dogs, your sledge with its provisions, and 2 endurance points. After an anxious discussion, your guides agree to continue the mission, although they know that the hardship will now be doubly severe. Reduce your health with 2. Then, in the distance, Irian spots a narrow passage at the edge of the ice shelf, at a point where it meets the Rot Basin. You continue your journey, and by nightfall, you reach the shelter of this pass and decide to set up camp. Checking the remaining food stores, you realize that rations will have to be cut by half if all of you are to reach Ikaya. You lose another 1 endurance point due to the scant evening meal.
Man, I was certain we took the option that wouldn't risk us losing our supplies.
Yeah, but you needed to roll above 3 to make it.